Welcome back to the Clean Router channel. Today, we're diving into a massive development that could reshape the tech world as we know it. That's right, the US government is considering a breakup of Google. This is huge, and it could send shockwaves across the entire tech industry. Stick around, because we're going to break it all down. Why this is happening, what it means for you, and what's next for one of the biggest companies on the planet. Let's get into it. So what's going on? Why is Google in the government's crosshairs? Well, it all comes down to antitrust laws. For years, the US government has been concerned about Google's dominance in key areas of the tech markets, specifically search advertising and Android. Google holds a whopping 90% share of the search engine market, which means it has a lot of power over what information we see and how businesses reach consumers online. The government believes that this level of control is unfair and may be stifling competition. Critics say that Google's size and influence are preventing other companies from innovating, and consumers are left with fewer choices. The talk of a breakup is essentially about creating a fairer playing field in the tech industry. Now, when we say breakup, what does that actually mean? Essentially, the government is considering splitting Google into smaller, separate companies. Imagine Google Search, YouTube, Android, and their ad business all operating as independent entities. Why do this? The goal would be to prevent Google from using its overwhelming power in one area, like search, to dominate other markets, like advertising. The idea is to foster more competition, allowing smaller companies to grow and giving consumers more choices and better innovation. Of course, Google isn't just sitting back. They've got a defense, and it's a pretty strong one. They argue that breaking up the company would actually harm consumers. According to Google, their products work best together. Think about how YouTube integrates with Google Search, or how Android phones are optimized for Google's apps. They say that separating these businesses would lead to higher costs for consumers and would hurt the very innovation that the government claims it wants to protect. Google's also pointing out that their services are free for most users, so where's the harm? Okay, so what does this mean for you? Let's talk real-world impacts. If Google is forced to break up, you could see some changes in how you interact with their products. Maybe YouTube will no longer be tightly integrated with Google Search, or the Android operating system might work a little differently without direct control from Google's main company. It could also mean new players entering the scene. More competition could lead to better services, more privacy options, or even lower advertising costs for businesses. Savings that could trickle down to you. But wait, just because the government is considering it doesn't mean it's a done deal. Breaking up a tech giant like Google would be incredibly complex. First, there's the legal battle. Google is ready to fight this tooth and nail in court, and these cases can take years to resolve. Plus, there's the question of whether breaking up Google would really solve the issues at hand. Some critics say that even if Google were split up, it would still dominate its core markets, just under different umbrellas. If this all sounds familiar, it's because we've seen this before. Think back to AT&T in the 1980s when the government forced the telecom giant to break up. More recently, the Microsoft antitrust case in the 1990s shook the tech world. Both cases had big consequences, but the breakup of AT&T is often seen as a success for competition. Could Google be the next tech giant to face this kind of fate? History shows that when the government steps in, the market changes, big time. So what's next? Well, it's all still in the early stages. The US Department of Justice has launched investigations, but a court decision could be years away. Meanwhile, Google will continue to argue its case, and we'll see whether Congress decides to pass new laws to regulate big tech more aggressively. One thing's for sure, this battle is just getting started, and the future of the tech industry is at stake. What do you think? Should Google be broken up, or is the government going too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think. And if you haven't already, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future updates on this story and other tech news.
Do you know what your kids are looking at on the internet? Now you can with the Clean Router. Clean Router is the ultimate parental controls. The Clean Router allows parents to easily manage all devices in your home and stop internet pornography. It controls everything connected to your home Wi-Fi. The time restriction tool makes it easy to set when they are allowed to have internet access. Let the Clean Router help you enforce bedtimes, homework sessions, and quiet hours. Manage your kids' internet from anywhere on the go with parental controls on your phone. The Clean Router is simple to install and easy to use. The 7-layer IntelliFilters keep your kids safe. It logs all the activities per device in an emailed report. CleanRouter is the ultimate parental controls. Get yours at cleanrouter.com today.